The interesting thing about this night is that I went out with a couple buddies, right? One that I've known for a long time, but not gone out with much, and one who is a much more recent acquaintance. And so, in trying to accommodate them, you kind of ask, hey, what are you guys interested in terms of maybe the vibe or the demographic or layout of a venue or something like that? And folks that don't go on as much just won't know the options because they haven't seen as many things to like have ideas to draw ideas from, right? And that's okay. It's just a little bit of an adjustment, right? So they say, hey, we're gonna come and see you. We've been hearing some things, so we want to check out where you roam. So take them out to the spot I've been going to most frequently, right? Uh, when we get there, right? So a lot of tickets were sold for this event. I could tell that, but then when we get there, the turnout was not as high, right? So we get there, it's a little bit sparse, and they're kind of like, particularly the acquaintance is complaining a little bit, right? And that is one thing that that's like a slight pet peeve of mine is like, hey, I'll go out with you. I'll, hang out with you when we're out. Um, but please don't complain because we're lucky to like be out and enjoying the night and rolling the dice. Like that's a privilege. That's uh, a treat, right? It's a luxury. So it's not just oh, this sucks. Oh, the all these women here are taken. It's like you haven't actually spoken to any of them to know anything about them. You see them close to another guy, but that's just in a way an excuse for you not to say hello, right? Even if it was like a man and woman together in a relationship, you can still go up and start a conversation, but you're using the excuse of oh they're in a relationship to not start a conversation, right? But even the people who were not in a relationship, the women who are not with guys beside them, still the same case. So you see that often. You see it very often. And the thing is, what is always the case is there's like this sense of like, oh, but I know what you gotta do. You gotta do this. And it's like, bro, if you knew, then you would have the results to show it, right? And it's okay. Just say, I don't know what to do to get girls to like me. That like you can just admit it. And you don't even have to say it to me, right? I'm not expecting you to just I think it would be nice if you were that blunt and honest. I think that would be a great step forward because I think then when you own it like that, you also own improving it and changing it. And given that you are around people who are introducing you to those who help you change, it's like you can either choose to stick with where you're at and continue to make excuses or choose to move forward. And that is the thing though, is that even going out and complaining about it while you're out is a step forward when you haven't been going out at all, right? And spoiler alert, aka fast forwarding to the end of the story, by the end of the night, the acquaintance was like, oh my goodness. Got real googly eyed. Falling in love at the club. Whole time walking back, I'm like, talk about the girl. I will remember her. I will remember her for the rest of my life. It was fantastic. And he was just like lost in the sauce too. At the time, I was like, "Dang, bro! Like, come on, yo, you looking that hard. That could be assault in some states, you know, just for how hard you look." She was not reciprocating at all. But like, my view for him where he's at, that's fine, right? You know, I don't think, like I said, I don't think she noticed him. I don't think she noticed him at all. But he noticed her, will remember her, and you know, it made it a memorable night, a little bit of an experience for him. He did like the video as well, you know, changed from the complaints to like the, hey, that was a nice place. I'm glad I got to see it. So I feel like it was good in that sense. The other friend I know for a bit longer was a little hard on himself, but it shouldn't have been. It's all good. Like I think that is one thing that like I have adopted that I feel like is a little bit better than many others who are at a similar place in terms of the time that they put into this. Is that I have grown to be a little bit less hard on myself, to be much less hard on myself after a night out, right? Like it used to be every night out, no matter what, was a bad night out, and part of that was because my results were like way low. So like objectively, in terms of the things I was doing, and the nights were not as good. So like you know, a bit of like truth and honesty in there. Uh, but hey, that's fine. Like you start like and like this is like the big point as well. Like wherever you start is where you start. Just like focus on improving from there. Don't focus on oh how you're behind others, how you're starting late, how others may have this advantage. That like where you're at's where you're at. Like the conditions that like you cannot control or those that you can't control, you just accept it and move on from there. So like, you know, don't harp on any of this stuff. Don't get bitter about it. Don't like bring it up and make it part of your identity, right? Like you know, if it's objectively a fact, then it's objectively a fact. You know, don't lie to yourself or try and be delusional. But at the same time, like how you relate to facts can influence a lot and can really speak to your identity and your personality and your expression. So be mindful of that. Like back to even the story about tonight. What I didn't notice about myself, right? I'm even gonna like skip a bit of the story. The story I was gonna tell initially was that numbers wise, it wasn't the best night, which you know many nights are not going to be your very best night. That would be cool. Though. Each night like progressively got better. Bam, 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 bam. I guess that'd be kind of cool. But I feel like the ups and downs actually makes it like a little bit more fun, right? And like even that is less like look at like the stuff. The ups and downs used to frustrate me more, but now it's like that's kind of the fun of it, right? When you can look at these things that could be seen as negatives and instead view them as positives, right? View them as good fortune, as blessings, as lucky, as you know, good tidings. What's the song? Good tidings to come, or something like that. Put it in the comments. Like, subscribe if you can tell what song I was singing just there. It's a good tidings for all. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. People that didn't watch the video are gonna have no idea, but those who did, those who did that know this moment, go down, subscribe, yo. You the real one. So the story I was gonna tell was that I was with a couple friends, you know, looking forward to meeting some people, you know, hey, meeting the girls, right? And hey, Jamal, you know, we were hearing some things, we want to see you in action, right? Okay. So I go out and do a little bit, but it's a relatively little bit. Less than my average and like less than what I would consider like good. Now, also, what the other gentleman saw was not the complete picture. There was a couple times like that they missed out on some of these interactions as well, which is fine for me, but maybe like changes their viewpoint or opinion. So if they ask or want to debrief or want to talk about it, I'll tell them the real story. And the other part that I have not told them yet, and I haven't had the opportunity, I am shooting this live at 4:53 a.m. Right? Um, we left the venue when they got a little tired. Um, Came back, drove them back. They, had some slight refreshment, slight recharge, then went on their way. I slight refreshment and recharge, then went back out to get in some more. Right. And even that, right, when I went back out, it was like I knew I'm going to have to spend about an hour to go back out, and I'm going to be at the venue maybe 40 minutes. So I'm investing time wise more than I will return. So, high tariff event, right? That's normally something that would deter me. Tonight, I don't know if it was the extra motivation from wanting to change things around. I don't know if it was. I feel like my mood was starting, had been like going up, 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 up earlier, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta go." So then it was like, I had yes, yes. My results had actually been getting better, better, better. But again, like I was being accommodating. I'm glad about that. I'm lucky to have gone out with them. Both very cool people. Uh, so I was happy to be accommodating. But it did, in my opinion, leave me not in the best condition, right? And there's a part of me that's like, bro, see, this is why you should keep going out solo. No one can slow you down. But the thing is, just like solo versus with others is just different, right? I don't know that you should necessarily view one as better or worse. I would say view them as having pros and cons, right? And even with the pros and cons, I would say solo versus with someone else develops different strengths and weaknesses of your game, of your presence, of your personality, right? For example, since I've been going out alone, one thing that I feel like I have developed much more than when I was going out with others is this self amusement, right? This ability to keep myself entertained almost to the point where sometimes I can get so self entertained that it's like I'm zoning other I'm I was gonna say zoning other people out. Is that the right way to say it? Is that the right phrase? I don't know if it's just like too late and I haven't had enough sleep to like my mind is like a little not non-functional. A little non-functional. Yeah, if I'm just like being a little slow right now or what. But oh gosh, now I even lost my train of thought. Oh Lord, this is crashing, crashing and burning. I really am lost as to what I was saying. It's gonna be terrible looking back at this on video. I think now I'm even going like farther and farther down the rabbit holes under stream of conscience. But I think the point I was making was that like, right, I was making it about me, talking about how my mood had been affected, and part of that, seeing how my mood had been affected in this negative way makes me say like, dang, all right, I should go back home. I should go out alone from now on, right? Hey, I would have had a better night if my mood hadn't been affected by others. And the way to ensure my mood is not affected by others is to go out alone. Aha. However, a different way to look at it is that My mood was affected by going out with others. And so, in going out with others, I had the opportunity to practice curating my mood in a way that going out solo did not provide, right? So like that's kind of the mental shift, and it is an example of the going out solo versus with friends, right? Solo self amusement, keep myself entertained. With friends, their my mood is a little more matching their mood. If their mood's down, it pulls down my mood a little bit. If their mood's up, it pulls up my mood a little bit. Now, ideally, if their mood is down, I don't want to let them pull me down. I want to pull them up to me, right? However, that again is a skill that I believe will take me more time and effort to get better and better and better at. However, I think that is a crucial skill that going out and socializing helps you develop. You meet so many people who are in just different head spaces, right? And so many people who very clearly would like to relate to others in a better way, but maybe have a bit of trouble in doing so, right? That can be a challenge, that can be tough. So, when you can get out and enjoy and like interact with these people and lift them up, right? Provide them a bit of joy, like it really is rewarding, right? It really is fun. Like it really is cool. And it really is a good time. So like it's a great thing. But also some people are in a very negative space. And if you're not careful, being empathetic, being outgoing, being friendly, can even sometimes make you a bit of a target, right? It can you know, you can be around people who are looking for like a codependent in a way, right? And so you can even end up being like used, right? So how do you prevent that? You do it by setting boundaries, right? And the sad thing is that like oftentimes you can like talk about boundaries, but when it comes to like actually enforcing them, um, again, sometimes that is a practice, a skill, something that is developed. Um, but however, it helps to think of it as a skill, right? As something you can get better at. It's not just a set thing like you're good at boundaries or not, or people walk all over you or they don't because you're tough, you know, like it's not that I don't think thinking of it in that like set black and white way um, is necessarily the most useful thing, right? I think a bit of nuance when it comes to boundaries is also good. However, again, going out and socializing helps you get better at setting boundaries, right? You interact with more people, you see where they're at. Some you get more experience, right? More experience in different situations that may test your boundaries, right? Or test your ability to set boundaries or to communicate the boundaries that you would like to set, those sorts of things, right? So, going out helps you set boundaries. And by setting boundaries, you ensure that you don't get taken advantage of. And really, setting boundaries not just ensures that you don't get taken advantage of, right? It helps to show that you value yourself, right? Like, and that is something that is attractive, right? That's something that other people want to be around, like someone that really like cares and values themselves, right? And who does so with humility, right? Who values themselves, who feel like they're doing the right thing, but also does not see themselves as necessarily superior to others, right? They just see it as like I'm cool because there's no reason like I would be cool. You know, I'm just me. I don't have to be cool for a particular reason. It's just that because I do this and this and this and try to be a good person that like that's enough. And I admit that, hey, in trying to be a good person, I fall short of that, but I still maintain a commitment to being a good person, to being a better person, right? To moving toward the best version of myself, right? That is what makes you like special, And it's the effort and continued effort and the commitment, right? Notice I didn't say necessarily the results, right? You should be like willing to guarantee the commitment and effort, knowing that putting in the commitment and effort does not guarantee results. Right? When you do that, that is like the humility as well of, hey, I'm gonna put in the effort, even when I'm still, and even when I am putting the effort, if I still see that I'm maybe even going backwards, right? I'm still gonna put in the effort. Maybe I'll shift strategy or something as needed, as can help me advance most quickly. But you still maintain that commitment. So, like, when you have that self esteem, it shines through. It really is attractive, right? And and having that and seeing that and honing it again, because it's not just something you have or you don't have, right? It's something that you can develop and grow and cultivate. But as you cultivate that, as you get a higher sense of it, as you see how you have progressed, and you're then out interacting with others, you see where they're at and you see it more quickly than you did in the past, right? And when you see when they're at, it helps you interact with them in a way that connects with them, right? Like you can kind of tune and adjust your dial, right? You can find where they're at and then navigate and move from there. And it really is like a big thing. So cool, 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 cool. I, I still feel like I'm like missing the whole story and everything else, but like the uh a bit of pressure from being out with guys that like when I go out solo. So from just being out with friends, being a pressure from being out with someone who I felt like was bringing the mood down at times. Bit of pressure from being out with someone who I've known a long time and felt like was looking to me to help show them a good time, right? Felt like I wanted to be a good host. So more pressure on me. I felt like with that pressure, potentially even because of that pressure, did not perform as well. Instead of being down about my performance, really beating myself up, um, it was just like, okay, well, how do I feel? I didn't let myself get too down to where it affected my mood and maybe just want to go back home, stay alone. Still kind of upbeat, right? As I said, my state had been getting better, right? I had been getting more in the zone, more comfortable, more vibey. Ooh, right? Like feeling a little bit more. Just like, okay, okay, finally. Hey, a little swag, a little moving how I want, right? As I started to get that thing like, oh, getting tired, right? And that is something I expected and predicted, even called to someone else that, hey, because I've been doing this in it, about 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 it. If you know that song, you need to be subscribing, following, commenting. Where the real ones at? Where the real ones at? So, right, mood started to go down. Instead of like state was had been going up, tired, shoots, drop, but not so far, right? No, this okay. I'm still up here. Let me take advantage of this, right? Still feeling good. Let me take advantage of this. As I said, a different viewpoint could have been, man, my performance was poor tonight. Beat myself up, beat myself up. How come I didn't do more? This is my golden opportunity. Have people watch and let them down. Well, even with that, right? Did I let them down? Not at all. All right, I put in some effort, got some numbers up. They were actually keeping a little tally. Uh, you know, up in the leaderboards. Woohoo! and again, some of those I didn't even see. Not a contest. Uh, but just I want to be up there as well because this is something I'm doing, right? I am practicing, I am developing, I am going out working. All this, right? Still haven't gotten to like the big punchline. Your boy goes back out, right? Leave my house just before 3 a.m. Back out in the scene. And again, I ain't that close to the city, right? It ain't like that. So driving back, right? Oof, pumped up. Snow starts to fall down. Like first I'm just like, okay, well, must just be a dusting. I didn't see anything on the news. Then it starts to come down heavier to where like you hear the snowflakes as they hit the windshield. So I'm like, oh wow, that's a little heavier. That's a little ice on it. Have I made a mistake in coming back out? I'm not too far from home, right? I'm closer to home than I am to the city. Should I go back? Sitting there driving like, this is gonna suck if I get stuck in the snow, right? Just a couple weeks ago, we had this big snow that's like, this is like the biggest snow of my lifetime in this area, right? I was in amongst it more than I was comfortable with, right? I was pushing the edge, staying out that night kind of late as I could. Ended up coming back in the snow and thinking like, wow, I definitely should have left earlier. I'm glad I got back home safely, but that was risky and that is not something I want to do again. So now, fast forward to me being out tonight, seeming like, am I doing this again as I drive in the snow as it's coming down, right? Driving away from home and into the city as the snow is coming down. Go back out because of the previous snow, very little parking. So I'm just kind of driving around the venue, time ticking down, right? My 40 minutes that I had at the venue is now coming down to 35, and it's like, oh, Lord. But find parking. Hurry my little butt inside because it's cold and because I want to enjoy the most time that I can, right? Get inside. I said, like, all right, I'm gonna dance myself off, right? Get inside. I'm certainly vibing and dancing more than most others, right? Uh, it's like the front part of the room closer to the DJ booth is still packed, right? Like enough people to where like moving around in between them is uncomfortable. You kind of have to, hey, excuse me, like, move your way around. It's not just easy walk around. You gotta shift some people as you do it. Hopefully you do it politely and say, please excuse me, but others just kind of barge their way through. Um, I feel like that's not cool to me, but others are much less aware, so it is what it is. Anyway, get back in there. See the front of the room is a little bit filled, right? At the same time, in the back of the room, many bros. Many bros. Someone said mayonnaise, a whole lot of mayons in here. So, a whole lot of bros have asked us, like, oh man, I'd like to get up closer, get in amongst it a little bit more, and maybe around a little bit more people who I'd like to talk to. But again, hard to navigate. So I'm just all right in the back. Let me go ahead and do my little vibe, do my little dance and stuff like that. And there's still a couple of people back there. So start doing my thing. And as I do my little dancing, other people see it. Oh, got a little energy. Hey, start joining in too, right? It even starts with like me then interacting with a couple of the bros there. Talking to them, hey, little move there with them. Oh, I see you, bro. Hey, right? That gets me in the zone a little bit more. And that was the other thing earlier is that although, my number and my tally wasn't as good as maybe many other nights, talk to the bros as well, right? Again, help me to get in that zone, in that talkative mood a little bit, right? And like, that's the thing is that is the mood that I feel like is actually a the place that many people should be aiming for is talkative, right? Talkative and also calm and relaxed, right? Not like a overly energetic, like spastic talkative where you're just going a million miles an hour because blah 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 blah. You want to get it out. You have something to say. You're in this. You're kind of you are in like a little bit of a flow. You are in like a little bit of a momentum. So it's kind of easier to keep going than to stop. So maybe it becomes a little bit like attractive to even keep going. Like keep talking fast like this. Hey, you get it out there. You still keep talking. Hey, you kind of stream of conscious. Hey, you're not stopping. So isn't that a good thing? You're not running out of things to say. Isn't this better than just the awkward silence? I mean, it kind of is. You are still getting opportunities to like a little bit of laughter, a little bit of humor, a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of mystery, a whole lot of fun, right? Is this more fun than just the quiet? You can have fun with quiet too, though, if you know how, right? Did you guys see? Did you see? Did you take notes? Were you writing it down? Like, some of you say people don't teach this, that they don't teach techniques. Where are the techniques? Where are the lines? What do I say? What do I do? Can't you just make it easy? Can't you just make it simple? I don't understand. But what first? What first? As I'm showing you techniques. Chock full of it in this video. So many useful tips, so many helpful things, right? If you have not already subscribed to the channel, if you're not already binging these videos, if you haven't already signed up and taken the free class, what are you doing? Wow. I'm even going to be a little bit quieter because, as I said, it's past 5 a.m. now. The neighbors are probably asleep. I want to let them sleep peacefully. At the same time, get in there. Subscribe, watch the videos, the related playlist, all of it. Go through the profile, right? Look at this stuff, man. Like, if you're here, this is the first part, right? This is like the the North Star that can help guide you. So much effort has been put into this by so many people over the years, right? This isn't just me. I learned from others. I refined it. I took it further. I experimented with. I made it my own. I internalized it, right? I refined it. I tried it. I tested it. I saw what worked. I saw what didn't work. And I worked and put the effort in to bring that to you because I want to help, because I see how transformational this is, right? Because I know that this is the way to get to the best version of yourself, right? This actually helps you get to the root cause of some of these things that are going on in your head in a way that is more effective than anything else I've seen, right? I've seen so many people continuing to do the wrong things, right? And everyone is doing what they feel is best. However, when you see people not getting past these issues, right? Running into the same things in different forms and fashions. And while that's good because you see it as opportunities for them to improve, to get better, to continue developing that skill, right? To do things the very right way, to really address the root cause. You also see that they're having these situations again and again because they are not addressing the root cause, because they are misdiagnosing the problem. Because sometimes they know the problem, but are too scared to do the things that would lead to the solution. So, like, this stuff is transformational on a deep, deep level, right? Like, I feel like knowing someone now who's like going through a life crisis in a way. And it's because they're running into these issues again and then, again and again, but not knowing how to move past them. And so they feel inadequate and feel like they've been missing out, uh, are missing out. And it's again a little bit sad to see, but to go back to what I was saying earlier, you don't let it pull you down. You use it as motivation to help you keep going so you can pull them up and help pull others up. So tonight, out Not the best night. Could have been more down on myself, but crucially was not, right? Maintain some of the more positive state, maintain some of the more momentum, and maintain the positive outlook, the courage to say, let's get back out there. Go back out there. Start small. Start talking to people that are just around me. Start talking to the pros. Start dancing a little bit. I'm using myself. As I do that, other people notice. They start to close proximity, right? All of a sudden, more people around me where I was just kind of dancing at the edge of the crowd off by myself. Now, a few more people have somehow appeared around me, right? Eventually, a couple of women around me, right? Noticed them being close, noticed them noticing me. Again, start to feel a little self conscious that I am resisting open, right? I feel like they are, in a way, asking, please initiate a conversation with me. And then I'm like, I'm kind of too scared. I recognize that you want me to start a conversation with you. Maybe doing some nonverbal cues in that direction. However, at the same time, we're both not moving past the nonverbal cues, saying, I'm interested, but not yet acting on that interest. Persist. Again, I'm able to sustain a bit of momentum building, right? To not let it bring me down too much. Still keep vibing throughout. Build, 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 build. What's this? Opportunity? Uh-oh. Look over, girl. Two guys beside her, right? But the dudes are like, oh, one seems close to her, like maybe that's her boyfriend, right? And then maybe that's his friend beside him. Oof. The other one, two women beside me, but don't seem to be most interested in them. They just don't quite seem to be my type. Another one, clearly looking at me, clearly appealing in some respects. However, also again, uh, don't know the situation. Your boy ain't let that stop him. A little open here, doesn't quite stick. A little open here, okay, a little interest, but uh I am not quite able to convert it. Let's say that, right? I feel like I'm not quite getting enough to make me fully satisfied, to make me fully confident. But I have to own that, right? I was getting enough. It was, the thing is, I was just talking with a random stranger, and maybe I was expecting them to give a little bit more, but I should have had more empathy to understand that, hey, this is a person who, as much anxiety as I had and showed and have had about starting conversations with people, there exists for others and to for myself to some extent, certainly, is anxiety, being approached by a random person. And so maybe shouldn't react in the way that I would have hoped, or maybe, expected in a situation I would have called, great outcome, but nothing at all inappropriate. So, like, that's one thing. Some dudes will get so bitter. You hear it and you see it, and it's just like, bro, she didn't owe you anything, right? Like, so don't get salty when you didn't get what you wanted. And here, right? Could have let things affect my mood more, but didn't. Persisted, ended up coming out, try to start, try to start. Even the attempts, though, give me more momentum, right? More confidence. Try to start again. Uh-oh, okay, a little warmer feedback. Keep going. It's going well. Okay, keep going. Going well, going well, going well. Like I said, Ended up talking to the girl with the potential boyfriend and other friend beside her. Um, they kind of disappeared. They like honestly, I lost track of them for a while until they came back to block, to be like, we're getting tired. Are you ready to leave now? To take her away before I did. I don't even know if it was gonna be like that. Like it was just like a friendly thing. It was my best interaction of the night, though, in terms of the connection, the vibe, the humor, even of the interaction. It was cool. Uh, Longest one of the night as well. So I feel like those things tend to go together. That when the interaction is going well, very well, you want to keep it going, and the other person does as well. So it leads to a longer interaction, and that is like the story. Out, not going well. Don't let it affect you. Keep going. Do what you can. Try and maintain your state. Try and keep some momentum. Try and keep getting out there a little bit, even if it's not to the extent that you want or hoped, or that others around you wanted to see, and capitalize on the opportunities, right? If you have the opportunity to still get back out there, you can still do it and end up having a good time as a result. So keep getting out in the field, keep getting out in the field, keep getting out in the field, and you'll be a cool young college grad partaking on the rest of her life smoking in terms of her attractiveness, not like smoking. Uh, like all that stuff, like that's fine. Where I'm at in my life, like I don't even like that's fine. It's good. So I share that to say like to help motivate you. Like whatever you want is out there. But you got to be willing to put yourself out there to that middle space where you can really have the opportunities present themselves to you, and then have yourself be competent and confident enough to be able to capitalize on those opportunities before you miss out. I love you guys. Take care.